Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight. What's the crack, Bellboy? I loved your stream the other day. Good to see you back on YouTube. And hello, Static. Hello, Phil. Hello to all the usual suspects. And thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a week or so, and we have a lot to catch up on. Sorry about that. So it's me, Fran. The channel is Golartzo, and here I talk about football and I talk about art, and I do some art. I don't do any football on the channel, but maybe one day. And what we're going to do is a double bill today. So I'll show you what is coming up. So here we go. It's PowerPoint time. You guys know how much I love PowerPoint time, but I hope you're all well. And so tonight we've got a Chelsea overview, which let me tell you is going to be interesting. And that's going to be a quick whiz over what I thought about the Chelsea game. And then the part that I love, that you love, that everyone loves, we're going to do player ratings. I'm going to need your help with that. They're not going to be kind. I was really unhappy with the Chelsea performance, I'm not going to lie. Then we're going to do a Sevilla preview, which is tonight in less than 2 hours, and we'll probably still be live for starting 11 reactions. We can kind of move into the game together because I'm really nervous about it. You guys probably are too. So yeah, and we're going to do, my starting 11, what your starting 11s would be, score predictions. So a little bit of a double bill. Chelsea review, Sevilla preview, and should finish right as we go to the game tonight. So do bear with me, stick with me. Remember to hit the like on your way in, and also press share, but don't actually share it. Apparently that boosts the algorithm. I hate the algorithm, but thank you so much. So say a quick hello. Hello, Static, what's up? Hello, thank you for joining me. And Anthony Herbert and Tayyib. Awesome. Right, let's get into it. Enough of the introductions. So we're going to do a review and player ratings, but I wanted to start by just saying how disappointed I was by that Chelsea performance. I was watching it at home with my boyfriend, and both of us just had our head in our hands a lot of the time because of how sloppy our players were. And Odegaard couldn't control the ball. Raya kicked it out wide. We'll talk about Raya. Ben White just kicking it completely straight to the other team. People kicking it straight off sideline. I mean, it was just so, like, the players were so sloppy. And is it because it was raining? Who knows? But each of them coming off that pitch, maybe bar Declan Rice, perhaps Saka, will know that they put in a stinker. Honestly, like, and what was inexcusable for me was that they showed they could do it in the last 10, 20 minutes. So for the whole rest of that match, what was the excuse? It was so sloppy, so complacent. As you might have seen by the thumbnail, sloppy Arsenal, that's what it was. I was so disappointed. And
And what has annoyed me actually is seeing. So I love Arsenal YouTube as well, but most of the podcasts I've been watching, I love them. I love you guys, but have been really positive takes saying it's 1 point gained, not 2 points lost, and kind of berating fans that were not happy with that performance. Only a few channels, like I've seen people actually say like that was really bad and allow themselves to say that. So many other channels are like trying to put a positive spin on it, but it's okay. Like you can still love your team and say that performance was shocking. I don't know. I just didn't really see a silver lining. But maybe by the end, Phil, at Gooner Gathering, you can tell me what was good about that. Because, I mean, obviously there were a few good moments. Performance was bad. I'm sorry. And it's okay to say that we had a bad performance. Like, whatever. When I've played in hockey or not in football teams, but some days we just had a really bad day and I performed bad. Like, I made mistakes and it just happens. You motivate it for your next game. So I thought the Chelsea performance was really bad. But, you know, credit to Chelsea. When we get into player ratings, we'll talk about what their game plan was and stuff. But that was just my basic overview. So it wasn't good. I'm still kind of like annoyed about it. Hey, Sean Peter, your hoodie was dispatched, by the way. Let me know when it arrives. I don't know how long it'll take to get to South Africa, but oh my gosh, 13 likes. Thank you so much already. Amazing. Phil Macker's going mental. He's on the red wine and prawn cocktail crisps. Whoa, everyone watch out. Phil's going mad. So yeah, that was my quick overview. Not happy. Obviously, this was the lineup that we played against Chelsea. Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. Zinchenko's whipped off at half time. Reiss, Jorginho, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. It was the front three we wanted to see, but Jorginho was the name I wasn't quite expecting. And in hindsight, I'm not saying you're too positive. I'm probably too negative. So by the end of this stream, maybe I'll reach a more balanced point. But I'm still annoyed about it. No one's too anything. Some people always talk about it. It's the chicken korma example. If that game was a chicken korma example, you might say, I really liked that curry, and I might say I thought that was disgusting. Neither of us are right. Dugout Football Channel, hello, and Jez, hello. Let's be honest, Arsenal were crap against Chelsea. Thank you. That's what I thought. I was seeing so many like takes and like that it was a good performance, and no, I thought it was really bad. But who knows? Everyone's got a different opinion on how the match was, but I thought it was really bad. Okay, so the substitutions, we'll get into them when we do the player ratings. The player ratings is actually the best bit. I've decided to cut down on the stats and stuff before and just include all that in the player ratings. The player ratings is the best bit. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you. Hey, Hugo, good afternoon from the States. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, let me know where you're watching from. Anyway, so, right, I've got this new thing on our streams, which is catch-up time. So it's a section dedicated to seeing what you guys thought about the performance. So I'll catch up on your comments and then go into more about what I thought, and then we'll do another catch-up time. So Jez said, Anthony Herbert, I won't take that too seriously. There is no factual evidence he said that statement. What statement's that referring to? Hi, Fran. Looking forward to tonight's game. Hope Ramsdale in goal, but just read that Thomas Partey will be leaving in January. I have not seen that. If you could let me know any more about that. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me, but that would be very, very bad. At least leave in summer. Phil said the interlude dragged on forever, but for us, but for the lads, it was non-stop. Doesn't feel like any time has passed since the Chelsea game. Yeah, it's a really quick turnaround since Chelsea. They must have got on the plane like immediately after the match, basically. So maybe that's good because they won't have had too much time to think about that Chelsea performance. They can just brush it out of their mind, you know, on to the next. So let me see what else to catch up on. Gil, hello, said, not enough belief from the players that they can be title or Champions League winners, just can't escape the fourth place mentality. Hot take, but I certainly was frustrated in the Chelsea game by the lack of, even Arteta called it out, the lack of what's the word he used? I can't remember. It was intention and can't think. If you can think of the word, the lack of. Yeah, but it was definitely lacking a big something. I rewatched it again today and I saw a few positive things, but it was just a bad performance. Phil says, if we say it's a hangover from the internationals, I hope it's a one-off I can forgive. Hopefully, we seem to have this always after internationals, and maybe we need to look at how the team are prepared, and maybe they're not quite like in the game mode after internationals. Dugout says, Anthony, remember it's AFTV in January, so he will be playing for Ghana. Yes, maybe that's what they meant by him leaving, and he is leaving to go and play for Ghana for a few weeks, I believe. Doughboy saying, love the cat. It's so cute, isn't it? Static loves the cat. We'll just do a cat stream. We were horrible, but versus top 6 teams, you win at home and don't lose away. Really good point, Hugo. I mean, the only positive is that we didn't lose, but I still think it was 2 points dropped, not 1 point gained. But I mean, given how the performance was, we're just lucky that we got a point, because for 7% of that game, we were so bad. Hey, Jordan, hello, good evening. And Kyle saying, I said we won't get out of the group. I was laughed at. If we don't win tonight, who will be laughing then? Bro, we're going to get into the Sevilla preview because no way can we take it lightly. It's definitely a must win. The more research I've done about Sevilla, the more worried I've been about this match. Like, there are different kettle of fish. My hair, I can't get my hair right today. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, you've got more faith than me. Gunnar Gathering said it was funny that despite how bad we played, I did always feel we would get back into it. I didn't. I'm really lacking that belief that we had last season where, although I don't know why, it just feels last season I felt like whenever we had a kind of setback, I knew that the lads would be up for it and come back. Whereas this season, I'm not feeling that same fight. I think we look less urgent. And, you know, a couple of weeks ago saying, oh, this is amazing. And I know after one bad performance, now I'm all over the place, but you'll just have to deal with it. Mr. B, hello. Big up, Fran. Great to see you back. Hope you're okay. Yes, thank you. I had a tough week last week. It was my granddad's funeral, and he introduced me to football, and he used to commentate at his local football matches and stuff. So it's been a really tough week, but you know, there's always football to take my mind off things and to pay my respects. So anyway, thank you so much for all your understanding and kindness in the chat. Hello to you all. Feel free to chat to each other in the chat. Right, I'm waffling. Let's get into the Chelsea tour, and then we're going to do player ratings next. And then we're going to talk about this match tonight because I'm really, really nervous and I need to see a good performance. Okay, I'm panicking. So we're going to do it. Player ratings. I've got so many notes, guys. So many notes. Just you wait, because I rewatched it today and yeah, got a lot to say. Not many people are going to escape with a high rating, let me tell you. I think you can still support your team, but say like when someone had a bad day at the office, like okay, yeah, we'll get into all of it. So, David Raya. Everyone, please give me your ratings of Mr. David. I think I come at my assessment of him at the moment from quite a different perspective than most. I know. So a lot of people that I've been listening to have been saying, quite rightfully so, that he's making a lot of mistakes and give Ramsdale a chance. Whereas I personally think it would be bad to bring Ramsdale back in right now, for the reason because, so at this match, something happened in the stadium, which I thought was totally out of order. So apparently our away fans were singing the Ramsdale song like throughout the match while Raya was in goal. And to me, that is just so wrong. It's so wrong. Because imagine how Raya will feel, you know, he's already nervous as it is. You don't do that You don't sing someone like the competitor's song while they're in the stadium. And to me, I think if Arteta started Aaron Ramsdale, that's like, it's almost like rewarding that behaviour from the fans. So, if we just sing for Ramsdale, then he'll play the next match. I think he needs to stand by Raya and say, like, no, I'm not going to be pressured by what the fans think to play this goalkeeper here, this goalkeeper there. I think start Raya tonight. And because also, if he now dropped Raya for Ramsdale, basically the scrutiny on the press around Raya tonight, if he drops him, will be so bad. And I think it's quite likely that Ramsdale does play tonight, but I can already predict like the papers and like rival fan channels saying, or people would start calling Raya a flop already. And I personally, when I rewatched it, I did not think he was particularly at fault for the Mudryk like fluke goal. I think he's doing what he's been told to by Arteta, and actually, I thought he was quite good this game. So Crispy, he always comes in with the hot take, saying that performance was trash, but way too early to judge. So I'll read you out my notes, but I didn't actually think his performance was as bad as some people's, and maybe that's because I'm like goalkeeper brain. Static saying that the Raya v Ramsdale debate is so pathetic. I never heard this for Loney v Ramsdale. Honestly, like I'm so like it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Just like neither of the goalkeepers need it. It's just like the situation is what it is. Like I just want it to calm down. And I think if Ramsdale was brought in tonight, then the Raya v Ramsdale thing would hot up massively because people were talking about Raya's been dropped. Like, was it a bad idea to sign him? And it would just make things 100 times worse. So I think he just needs to stick with Raya tonight and like let the press like just calma. I'm so fed up with it. So I noticed he was doing a few more longer balls against City. We basically never saw that. So I thought that was quite nice that it wasn't so much like you need to do the short balls all the time. So that was pretty cool. A couple of times he cleared it straight wide. He didn't save Cole Palmer's pen. However, that goal, the second goal that was conceded, I don't actually think it was his fault. People are criticising where he was standing in the goal. But in fact, for me, at least what I know, he was standing in the right position. So let me explain. When you're in goal, you're taught, at least in hockey, and I can't imagine it's that much different in football, you're on this semicircle and you go around basically in this semicircle tracking, getting exactly between where the ball is and the centre of the back of your goal. So if someone's got the ball right out wide, you're on that side of the goal to be as big as you can. I've heard people suggesting that he should have been standing centrally when Mudryk was out wide with the ball. Imagine that. The whole of the inside post, like, would just be completely, there would be no goalkeeper between Mudryk and the back of the net, because from Mudryk's point of view, it'd just be an open goal if Raya's standing centrally. Raya has to be standing on that near post so that Mudryk doesn't have a straight line through to an open goal. He's standing in the right position for me. Maybe he's a bit too far out, but he's standing in the right position. Then what you do if Mudryk crosses the ball, you then track across really quick or come out and intercept. For me, he's standing in the right position. Jez says Mudryk goal was a cross. He fluked it. Yes, that Raya was in the right place to intercept a cross. He's in the right place to intercept a cross or deal with it if Mudryk shoots straight at the near post. However, Mudryk's ball was like this fluky, loopy, weird ball that really was so perfectly odd that Raya couldn't really do much about it. And what Mudryk really took the piss for me when he saying that. So in post-match, he was saying that he meant it and he was doing the Jude Bellingham celebration. No, that was a fluky cross. And the scrutiny on Raya is really unfair for me because, in fact, for this goal, the whole of the rest of the team had let them completely tear down that wing with no one like trying to tackle or trying to slow them down. I think it was Jorginho, White, and another defender. Let me see if I could find it. So my notes for the second goal, give me a sec. Yes, so the goal from Mudryk, it was the fault of White, Odegaard, and Jorginho, because they dribbled it, I can't remember which of the Chelsea players, the whole way up the wing, and none of them engaged with them. And in the end, it was just Mudryk, like, on his own. The whole rest of the team, it shouldn't get to a point where it's a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. The whole rest of the team put Raya in that situation, and then it was just a fluke. But Mudryk shouldn't have been out there on his own with no one challenging him. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. So let me see what you guys rated him. Oh, and also, Raya, there was another moment Raya had was he accidentally passed it to Palmer by accident, which is then, like, you know, we brought him in for his distribution. I totally understand people say, like, how can he be so sloppy with his distribution? And I get that. That was really sloppy. However, he then Palmer and Raya were like one-on-one with each other. And Raya did really well. I've noticed he's really good at one-on-one stuff with players. So he doesn't dive too early. He follows them round and ends up, like, a lot of the time managing to get the ball off them, when normally the striker has a huge advantage over the goalkeeper. So he's actually really good at one-on-ones. I'm seeing good moments from him, especially like after he made that mistake. If you watch him then getting the ball back off Palmer, it's amazing. It's really good. But it was really sloppy. So definitely it's a mixed bag from him. I think he's being asked to play in a new way. If he was being asked to constantly just do long balls like he did at Brentford, then we'd see like the top quality keeper that he is. But he's being asked to play all these really close balls by Arteta for some reason. It's to create, and it's like to draw. It's like they did at Man City, which was drawing their team in so we could hit on the break, but we didn't hit on the break. That's a whole lot of issues. Anyway, so he's not really used to playing this style of football. It's weird. He doesn't look comfortable. He's making loads of mistakes, but I am seeing good things. But I do not think he was as bad as people say in this match. I think the fault was a lot on the rest of the team, especially for that Mudryk goal. So I'm going to give him a 5. And that's probably going to be 5 for me. I am Goalkeepers Union, right? I really feel for the guy. So I'm going to give him a 5. I think he's getting unfounded criticism at this point. So let me see what you guys said. Anthony said 3. Gil agrees it's 2 points lost. Every player deserves a 2 or less, Static says. Raya 3, -5, says Phil. That's very harsh from Phil. He reminded me of Giggs' hairy chest from that game at Villa Park with his positioning. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm sorry, but it sounds awful. Crispy saying 2. Mr. B is always bracing himself for more speculation, linking Tony with you lot for the 1,000th time. Mr. B, I keep telling you, we're not interested in Ivan Tony at all. Don't worry. I want him. That performance was trash, but way too early to judge. Static says Raya is number 1. That's never going to change. Unless all toxic, fake positive fans demand Arteta to leave. Ha ha ha. No name calling. Raya 4 at 2-0. He did make some excellent saves. He did. So, yeah, you guys are kind of between a 3 and a 5. So, oh right, yeah, Brentford. Mr. B, let us know what you think about what's going on with Raya, because he's obviously like not performing how he did for you guys yet. So that'd be interesting to hear a Brentford fan. Raya 6, still our keeper. Yeah, he's not used to this style of play at all. He looks like super uncomfortable. But yeah, that's the rating for Raya. Thank you for all your opinions. I'm going to move on to the next player. So I'm starting all the way over at the left, and then we're going to move right. And let me know what you think of Zinchenko's game in the chat. I also have a lot of notes. So this photo that you see is Zinchenko's face after he was benched, and they panned him in the second half, and he does not look happy. I just thought it was pretty funny. So let's see what I thought about him. Your dear Francis. So I wrote, he immediately started poorly, beaten by Sterling, then passed it straight to another player. He got a needless yellow card by a late challenge he did on Mudryk 10 minutes in. So then he was playing on a yellow for the whole first half and couldn't really engage on any challenges. Really sloppy yellow card from him early on. He did some good through balls with Reiss getting up a little bit higher in front of him, but he was just all over the place. Already, like, they started to exploit through Sterling, like Zinchenko's weakness at defending, and he kept getting spun by Sterling. It was a bad day at the office for him. But I was thinking about it, and I think his brain is not in defence. He's an attacking player. I want to see him playing in the left 8 role, for example. He's an attack guy. Defending to him is an afterthought. You can see it. And when they brought on Tomiyasu, like, his brain is defending. He's always looking out for threat, who's around him. Zinchenko's an attacker. So it was really poor from him, but he's not a very good defender. So for me, it was a bad performance from him. He was taken off at half time. Stupid yellow card. It's not good. I'm going to give him a 1.5. Yeah, and that's probably being generous. Hugo being a lot more generous, saying 4. Crispy says 4. Gooner Gathering saying 2. That's low for you. Crispy said, I hope I'm saying that right. He did his job, got a yellow, and had to go. We knew Sterling would have him on toast. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Zinny 4.4. Binchenko 2. All right, disrespectful. Filmmaker, same as that, Phil. I was right behind that goal in the whole end. Oh, you're talking about the gigs thing. Oh, crazy. I'll read that at the next chat catch up. Zinny 3, he's not a left back, just put him in midfield, but radical Arteta won't do that. Yes, in my starting 11, I was thinking it would be so cool to see him in that Havertz role. I think he'd be so good. And then if you have Tomiyasu behind him, but we're insisting to keep going with the inversion, and I really don't think it's working at the moment. So for me, he's getting a 1.5. Zinchenko gets a 1.5 for me, and you can see him sat on the bench there. He knows he did bad. Yeah. So next up, we have Gabriel. He gets one of my higher scores, actually. I think often when the whole team is crumbling around him, he remains quite calm. He was basically the last line of defence a lot against Chelsea when I rewatched it. He's much calmer nowadays, much more consistent. Do you remember when he used to have like those rash moments, red cards, crazy tackles? We don't see those howlers from him now. He's much calmer and like on task, and has been rewarded with like becoming basically one of the first choice players for Brazil, which is amazing. So yeah, he had a solid game for me. But you know, no one really played great. Hey, Bernie. I also noticed that the defensive line as a whole is staying much deeper than last season. Presumably to leave us less vulnerable on the break, because last season that's how teams could kind of get at us. However, now I notice there's a huge gap between defence and attack. The defence is definitely not pushing up as high, and now they're really struggling to like pass to anyone, really. There's a huge gap between defence and attack. There's no one really in the midfield. And we just see a lot of the time the defenders passing it round to each other. So there wasn't much the defenders could really do when there was no one to pass the ball to. So for me, I'm going to give him a 6. I am going to give him a 6. Probably, I don't know, that's probably a bit kind, but he didn't really do anything hugely wrong. It's kind of average, maybe a 5. Average performance. His average performance is still like good. So you guys reckon 5.5. Crispy says 5. Brenny says, evening friend to all you super people in the chat. Yes, there are lots of super people in the chat. Enjoy chatting to each other. Gabby shaking in first half, but 6. Yep. Yeah, you know what, a 6 actually. Yeah, Crispy, I'm tied between 5.5 and a 6. Gil saying this inverted crap was being exposed last season. Yes, it was. It was. You know, but I do think like the Timber injury is like way understated. I think Timber was brought in because we know Zinchenko's not like as defensively minded, and the inverted thing works to an extent, but it's been a weakness because he's more of an attacking player, and Timber's really good at all the things Zinchenko's good at, but is also like hugely focused on defending. So it is really unfortunate because I feel like we tried to solve that issue, but then he gets injured in his first game. So we can't forget about that. But these things happen, you know, and you have to adapt. And we're just trying to do the same thing again. It's not working. Zinchenko got taken off at half time. Maybe it's time to see Tommy have a few games. So all the goals came from Saliba's side. They did. Saliba was not on it. He was not on it. Hey, Malai Hotspur, hello. He says, my favourite Gooner, how are you? Good luck in your match day. Yeah, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Actually, I'm not. We do need to perform well today, though. Oh, no. I hope you're okay, Static. Look after yourself. Let me know you're okay. I'll see you next time. Best wishes. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. So, Saliba. So the other half of the defence, I think he had a pretty poor game today. I think Gabriel was a bit more solid than him. Saliba seemed to not fully have woken up from international break for me. And he conceded the penalty, which, let me get it straight, I do not think Partey's not with the team today. Oh my gosh. Okay, he must not be fully fit. Classic Partey, right? Anyway, so Saliba, let me know what you guys thought of his performance. He was just not completely with it. I thought he looked half asleep most of the time. He didn't particularly do much on the ball. It was not his best performance. However, I do not think, tell me what you guys thought about the penalty, but his arm was not in an unnatural position. If you watch when he's jumping for the header, he's launched his arms like that and then jumped, just as part of the natural like jumping motion. You see his other arms out at the same angle. So for me, it wasn't in an unnatural position, but I can see why it was given. If I was on the other team, I'd probably call for it, but it's not a pen for me. His arm was just in like the jumping position. He has no time to react. It's not a pen at all. And our PGMOL. Are we getting an apology or something? I saw. So not really his fault for the pen, but overall not a very good game. I'm going to give him a 4. Phil says 5.5. Saliba 5, not his best. Not a pen though. How can you go up to head a ball without bringing your arms up? Yeah, there's been all these people joking like, are they supposed to jump like a seal or like just tie their arms behind their back? Like, yeah. Saliba 3, one extreme to another, City, Chelsea. Yeah, and I think it might be an international break thing. Obviously, he didn't go away with France. He had some sort of injury with his toe. So I'm wondering whether he just like completely kicked back and just wasn't fully like up for the game, was still kind of in holiday mode. That's like what I think it looked a little bit like. But yeah, Saliba 4, harsh penalty. Yeah, I agree. Saliba 5 because he has high standards. Yeah, it was not his best game. Crispy says, for me, it's annoying because it took a deflection before hitting him, so it wasn't a deliberate attempt at all. Yeah, there wasn't much he could do, but I can see the argument that maybe like Mudrik's header should have gone in the goal. But yeah, it was a dumb penalty. Unlucky for him. Unlucky for Saliba. Phil said, apparently if we get 5 apologies in a season, we get 3 extra points. I don't know if you're joking, but that would be good. Saliba 5. I'm not going to say congratulations to you guys. It hurts too much, but Spurs are playing very well. Are we coming for murder or coming to survive? It's Champions League. Hello. Good evening. And I feel that. I'm on that vibe. We must destroy them. Must destroy. We're not seeing enough of the like fighting spirit and the like wanting to win at all costs this season. To me, we look a little bit aloof, like a little bit snobby, like we're not going to get engaged in like all the rough and toughness of the game. We're just going to pass it nice and slowly. Whereas Chelsea came at us like wanting to upset us, wanting to. I feel like we're getting this pattern of when teams come at us and try and disrupt our flow and like get in the way and, you know, foul us and just outfight us, then Arsenal like shrink, we crumble, we can't deal with it. Whereas we need to be up for a fight. If a team like Chelsea comes at us with that energy, we need to roll up our sleeves, like be a bit more like Declan Rice and get stuck in. You need to be like, okay, it's that kind of game. It's that kind of game, is it? Right, we can do it 10 times better than you. Whereas we just seem to not want to engage in these types of matches. That's why Lens beat us. And I'm really worried that Sevilla will do it and be completely up for it in our faces, get stuck in, and we're not going to know what to do. We're going to panic, a bit like we did against Chelsea, a bit like we did against Lens. We need everyone to like put their big boy pants on. When the going gets tough, Arsenal should get rough. And not just pass it around the back. So yeah, I look happy, but I'm quite angry. Next player, Benjamin White. Side note, what do you think of his hair? I actually think it kind of suits him. I don't know why everyone hates it so much. I think he pulls it off. But I'm someone who has had my hair like most colours under the sun. So I'm probably biased. But I think he looks good. Lottie is here. Hello, sister. You're right. Arsenal aren't good enough. Pipe down. You're playing tonight. Manchester United are playing tonight. Copenhagen, I believe. So speak to me after that, okay? Gil says, you're spot on, Fran. We act like sport brats sometimes. I lose my voice for shouting. So frustrating. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think we play better when we've got that underdog mentality like we did last season. But it seems like now the team think like, we're the favourites, you know, we're going to get through each match. Like, we don't need to, like, get rough and stuck in, like, the underdog teams like Chelsea were playing. We just seem to be struggling a little bit with having the label of favourites. It's almost as if that makes the players think they don't have to work as hard or be as gritty, whereas teams like Manchester City that are on top all the time, the players every single match, they are on top because they're giving 150%. Getting the miles in every single match. That's why they're so good. You don't work less hard once you become favourites. So, yeah, not good. Bargav saying, I wish I could pull off exotic hair. My skin too dark. Nah, give it a go. It could look really good. You can always dye your hair back to black afterwards. Or whatever colour your hair is. I can't really see in your picture. But give it a go. Go on. Crispy saying, tonight could be the nail in the coffin for United. Fingers crossed, please. That would be beautiful. So Ben White, what notes have we got? I said he's doing well overlapping with Saka recently. Yeah, it's kind of his job. He's quite good though when we're against teams that try and hassle him a little bit. He kind of likes that because he's a little bit of like a shit house. Anyway, if you'll excuse the language. Sorry, Gooner Gathering. I know you don't like my swearing. But yeah, he quite enjoys a tussle, but second half throw in, he did it straight to Chelsea. Otherwise, kind of okay. For me, he's one of those players that kind of plays the level of the rest of the team. So blends into however the rest of the team are playing. I don't necessarily see him saying like, right, lads, we need to step it up here and like making mad runs on the ball or anything. He's kind of like a facilitator player and plays at the level of everyone else. Whereas wouldn't it be, have you ever seen Ben White just go like, right, enough of this, and like dribble it halfway down the pitch and try and create something? No, he kind of sits back, especially in the attacking play. I'd like to see a bit more like leadership from him, like getting everyone going. But I know he's a bit more of a quiet character. But anyway, today he was okay. He was okay. But as someone mentioned before, the goals were coming from that side. So yeah, I don't really think he was on it. He wasn't really on it, to be honest. I think he was probably upset that his new hairdo reveal and he looked like a soggy rat. I'd be really upset if I got new hair and then it was tipping it down. He was probably really upset about that. So I can understand to an extent. I'm kidding. That's a ridiculous reason. And if he was upset because his new hair was all wet and flat and looked rubbish, then that's not good enough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gathering. I was apologising to you because I know you don't like swearing. I'm not singling you out. Benny's 6 but 2 for the hair. Phil, that's so harsh. I like his hair. Crispy 5. Bargo saying, no, it's not that easy. Me with blonde hair is an absolute poser. Well, I think you should do it, but if you say so. Ben White, just like his hair. Yes, Mr. B. It's very clever of him. Ben's highlights are in his hair. 3. That's savage. Ben, shite. 2. Fran, where will Spurs lose their first game, do you reckon? A good question, but I'll save it for the end, okay? Lineups are in. If you like a silver fox, I'm dyeing it tomorrow. Yeah, good luck. Silver foxes are great. I think everyone should embrace their natural colour. Lineups are in, though, and we're still on player ratings. Oh, my God. Okay, we're going to have to skip through. Okay. I'm just going to have to skip through player ratings, then we'll do lineups, okay? So, Georgie, for me, he was okay. Got overwhelmed. 1 point, passed it straight out. Again, messy, average game. Got a 6. No, not a 6. I think he's getting a 4. 4 or 5 from me. Okay, you know what? Interruption. Lineups are out. Let's see. We'll come back to player ratings for Chelsea. Let's check it out. Let's check it out, lads. Ooh, this isn't good. 1 sec. Let me try and share my screen so I can show you guys. Share screen. Share. Okay, so Riot in goal. I'm okay with that. As I was saying, I think if Rambo had gone in goal, then it would have just created like a media shitstorm, basically, if you'll excuse the language, and would have killed Raya's confidence even more. Plus, Rambo's got a new baby, you know. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. Yes, I was really hoping Tommy would play because Zinni had such a stinker, and Tommy is just so much more defensively sound. So I don't know about you, but I'm really happy with that back line. Jorginho. Oh, okay. So Jorginho obviously is the deep 6, then Reiss. I'm actually okay. So a fun fact, they're basically the oldest average age team in the Spanish league. And I think in the competition, their average age is over 30. So the only justification I have for Jorginho, who's not famous for his pace, playing, is that the other team is also like filled with quite old people. I don't know if that's fair, but basically they're quite a mature, like experienced team. So maybe they're thinking Jorginho's maturity will be a good match for that. But I hated the midfield against Chelsea with Jorginho and Reiss. It was a donut. There was no one to pass to. I'm not super happy about that Jorginho Reiss thing, you know. But if Partey's injured, if no one else is available, cool. I might have had Reiss in the deep 6 which is what we had in the second half against Chelsea. So Reiss came back, and then was it ESR or Havertz? Okay, it's just weird. I think Jorginho and Reiss in the last match were not very effective. And it is going to be a similar match to Chelsea, where Sevilla are going to try and get us off our balance and just going to want it loads and be all aggressive. So I worry about that midfield. Odegaard, okay. We didn't get to him in the player ratings, but he had a really poor game against Chelsea. So I guess we're going to have to see what he's made of, if he's going to step up. Hopefully, this is where we'll see what he's really made of. So I want to see it. Bring it. And Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. Okay, cool. I'm happy with the front three, because I don't know if you guys remember, but pre-season last year, we played Sevilla and won 6-0, and Jesus scored like 3 goals. I was there. It was my first ever Arsenal match. So Jesus, last time we played Sevilla, he was on fire. So that's cool. I just worry a little bit about the midfield. That's all. But otherwise, good lineup. I'm happy Tomiyasu's there. Yeah. So let's see what you guys think. AFC always said I wouldn't have started Saka tonight. He doesn't look fit. I would have started Trossard, Jesus, Martinelli. Yeah. Let me show you what I would have done. Basically, I thought that the subs deserved a start because they were so much better than the starting 11. And this is pretty much an unchanged lineup apart from Tomiyasu, which I think is really odd. I think the subs earn a start. I don't know what you think. So I really think, yeah, the subs did earn a start. So I'll show you what I would have done. We'll do a chat catch-up time soon. Don't worry. So basically, I thought the substitutes played really well, especially Trossard and Tomiyasu. Eddie was all right. So, look, we're so running out of time with this PowerPoint. But so I really wanted to bring in a few of the subs for my starting 11. I think they deserved it. It's so weird that the lineup is so similar to our shocking performance against Chelsea. I'm not like too gassed with that. So I wanted to bring in, okay, Partey's not fit, but definitely wanted to bring in Trossard, ESR, and Tomiyasu. You could even make a case to have Havertz starting maybe up top or something. But yeah, we're going to have to see how it goes. Let's finish up the player ratings. We still got so many to go. All right, we've done Ben White. Jorginho, I'm going to give him a 5. Reiss. Jez says the worst game I've seen Reiss play since he joined. That's probably true, to be fair. For 70% of the game, he was kind of just as bad as everyone else. However, he was the player that started the resurgence for me. Like, he kind of was looking around at about the 70th minute and sort of thought, like, oh my God, am I going to have to do this all myself? So he probably thought going into Arsenal that everyone would have his character, but I think he was looking around and saying, am I really going to have to just step up and like make our team win? Like, fine. And you suddenly saw him running with the ball. Like, he took that amazing goal. Really a real leader in the last 15-20 minutes. I just don't know where it was for the rest of the game. Hopefully that will have taught him we need that from you all game, because unfortunately, like, no one around you seems to be doing it. Maybe Saka sometimes. So if you're looking at his average performance, the first 70% of the game, he was like pretty much as bad as everyone else. But then the final 15 minutes or so, he was really good. So he was probably like a 7 or 8, but then a 3. So in between 7 or 8 and a 3. Let me think. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's about 5. 5 for me. Or a 4.5, because you guys seem to think a bit lower. Harsh, that world-class curler was incredible. Honestly, that goal was so good. That's why it kind of cancels out the like poor beginning of the match for him and everyone else. we do need to really talk about that. And I don't know if you saw about his interview. He had just watched the Beckham documentary the night before. And in his mind, he was thinking about that goal Beckham did in his debut performance for Manchester United. And it kind of inspired him. And then he just decided to try and do that himself. And it just amazing. That goal, definitely up for like goal of the month. Fantastic. Such a good goal. It was chef's kiss. And what was even better was that he had to like actively intercept a quite slow ball from their goalkeeper out. So he actively came in and just, that's what I'm talking about taking ownership and leadership. He ran to the ball and took it. It's about being an active player, not someone passive who just goes with what's happening with the rest of the team. And that's Reiss, and that's what I love about him. So Phil saying can't be dropping Herb Garden, Fran. I'm shocked. You can be dropping Herb Garden. He had such a stinky performance. He never gets dropped. Or he always starts, and he needs to feel like he needs to earn his place, even though he's captain. So you reckon 8, Crispy. Bargav reckons my Rice Baby still a 7. Rice 7 took his goal well. Man of the match, very true. Had us in his backpack. Yeah. He thought like, right, come on, children. Time to actually score some goals. 4.5. Okay, Jez saying, I have to question what game you're watching. I think that applies to all of us. Rice made 0 interceptions and missed way too many tackles. Good opportunity for the goal, but that was it. That's what I did say, though. He was really bad for the first 70%. My rating is just good, like, because the last 10 minutes he actually grew a pair and did well. But I guess the fact that it was only for 10, 15 minutes, yeah, 70% of the game he was really poor. Worst performance I've seen for a long time. For 80 minutes we were horrendous. Hello, AFC always. I do agree. We were really bad. Bargav asked a question saying, Jez brings up a good point. Do you think they dominated our midfield or they were smart with the midfield? Both. Yeah, they completely dominated our midfield, and I think we made changes way too late in the game. It was clear that Jorginho and Rice were being overrun. And the defenders were sat so deep that it was literally Jorginho and Rice. Zinchenko doing nothing because he's on a yellow card. They had obviously such, like, they made our midfield look terrible. They really did. Yeah. Chelsea dominated us, says Phil, which is mad as they are a car crash. Yeah. We were just outfought, especially in midfield. Outfought, outrun, outmanned, outgunned, all of the above, especially in midfield. It was so disappointing. And Odegaard was pressing, but was really doing not much on the ball. Crispy said, the only positive I took is that the fact that our resilience is at an all-time high. I don't know. I think it was just pretty lucky our comeback. I've seen a lot of takes saying like Arsenal show a backbone and stuff, but like, why did we only show it for the final 5 minutes? Bargav said no, because they weren't tackling. Felt they passed to wingers and bypassed. Yeah, but sometimes basically what their midfielders were doing that we were not was actually getting on the ball and running with it. I noticed no one was doing that in our team. And a couple of times, like Mudryk or Cole Palmer took the ball and just ran straight towards our goal and basically ran through our whole midfield. None of our players were engaging with them. When they were on the ball and running at our players, we didn't know what to do. And that's not like our team. We were just not engaging at all. And none of our players were getting on the ball and just running, because when we did start to do that in the final 10 minutes, they couldn't handle it. They were like, oh my God, like, no, don't come at me. But we weren't doing that. And they were, especially through the midfield. And of course, they were taking it out wide and using Sterling's pace and Mudryk's pace. And Zinny was having a bad game, and Ben White wasn't dealing with Mudryk, just watching him run with the ball. So it was just poor all round. Hello, Niall. Hello. Ooh, I'm so excited for the match tonight. Out of wine, it's not even kickoff. Oh dear, Phil. Oh dear. NS Sports TV, hello, big up. What did you think of the performance? Did you think Chelsea played really well or Chelsea played bad? What do you think? I do think Chelsea had a really good game plan. You just have to disrupt Arsenal's play, make it a little bit rough, and it seems like we don't know what to do. So, yeah. We're just doing some player ratings. Let us know what you think. So, next, Odegaard. A lot of people have been calling him Ghostagard. Should Benny Blanco be dropped? Interesting question. I thought he was pretty average. Crispy says no. We don't really have a suitable alternative, to be fair. He's kind of the best we've got out there. If Tomiyasu's playing where Zinni is, we don't really have anyone. So, anyway, Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard. Remember to hit the like button as you come in. Please, the aim is 45 likes. Someone let me know how many likes we're on. So this is Phil's favourite player, Herb Garden. So early on, mistake I've written. Oh my gosh, yeah. I thought he was really bad, basically. I don't even need to read my notes. Sometimes he was passing the ball to nobody. He couldn't control the ball. When he did get on the ball and had a good chance early on in the match, he was one-on-one with a defender and then straight through to goal. He just turned around and passed it back. I know people make this joke that he's so Lagarde and like it needs to be a sunny afternoon at the Emirates and a nice easy day for him to have a good game, but it really feels like that was the case. I feel like our whole team just couldn't handle the fact that it started really, really rainy. And then we started playing well at the end of the match when the ground was starting to dry up. Basically, Odegaard for me was really non-existent and Declan Rice showed so much more leadership. Odegaard was, to be fair, doing really well in pressing and no one else was really pressing with him. But for me, he wasn't offering himself up. He wasn't saying, pass the ball to my feet, I'm going to do something, which we saw him do a lot last season. He has a few times in the last year really stepped up and made things happen in the game, scored a few 30-yard goals, whereas I haven't seen that this season yet. I love the guy, yeah. Oh, I've got to show the disclaimer. The disclaimer, right? Let me show you. If a player or their family ever watches this, please don't take my negative opinions seriously. All opinions are allowed. So yeah, online abuse of any kind is not accepted. So let me just say, I love the guy. However, he had a really bad game. If he ever watches this, don't listen to me. You're a great player, okay? But that was shocking. That was a stinky performance. He couldn't control the ball. He might as well, if you'd have switched him out for Fabio Vieira or Havertz, I would not have noticed. He was that non-existent for me. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Crispy. Last season, he was turning up in big games, but this season, he hasn't yet. He hasn't yet for me. NS Sports TV said David Raya and Robert Sanchez shaking hands, costing their teams points. That's like a meme format, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty harsh on David Raya. I'm not going to lie. So if you go back to the beginning of the stream, I didn't think the Mudryk fluke was David Raya's fault. Do you think Mudryk meant that? Tell me as a Chelsea fan, hand on heart, that Mudryk meant to shoot that goal. No, he did not. Bargav says, if he doesn't show up today, I'm fuming. Yeah. If he's Ghostagard today, it's not the one. I really think he could have done with being dropped, just like as a little kick up the arse, basically. Martin Ghostagard. AFC always said, Fran, if Odegaard can't turn up for the big and important games, how can he remain as club captain? Yeah, it's way too early, but Decky is looking like a bit more of a captain. And even someone like Gabriel, I would love to see as captain because he's so consistently like good, basically. Lamau, another one that Odegaard has stolen a heart. He is beautiful. He is beautiful, but he doesn't show up in big games, so his beauty is counteracted. He's in bad form, simple as. Okay, you're a mature Chelsea fan, NS Sports TV, saying, I'll admit he didn't mean it, but it's still a goal nonetheless. Yeah, it's still a goal nonetheless. And it was always going to be Mudryk who scored against us. It was just cheeky of him to do the Bellingham straight afterwards. I was like, he's such a little wind-up. So Crispy saying, now certain people are going to run the ghost agenda and dent his confidence even more after what he's done for us. Yeah, that's true. But I can't, like, talk about the football and not criticise any players for fear of hurting their confidence. There's a difference between saying, like, okay, you had a bad game, bro, and, like, online abuse. If anyone's doing online abuse about his performances, things like that, and, like, properly, like, going at him, that's horrible. But I've heard that players, like, prefer it. I can't remember which player said it. It was, like, one of the Man City players, I think, like Curtis Shaw was talking about this, that apparently, like, pro players say that they'd rather hear, like, honest opinions on their performance rather than having fans, like, constantly, like, rose-tinted glasses them. Like, they need to use this, like, criticism as inspiration and whatever. I think it's okay to criticise them. It must be. Or else I have to say, Odegaard did this well, Odegaard did this well, Odegaard did this well. And that's what the disclaimer's for. If Odegaard watches this, please don't take any of my opinions personally. ASE said, did Odegaard turn up at Man City away last season? No, he didn't. Crispy said, but he did turn up at Chelsea, Tottenham and Newcastle away. He really did last season. He really, really did. I was really impressed. And the whole team did. We all, like, strapped, pulled our sleeves up and showed up in the big games and overcame obstacles. And it's just looking a little bit more flimsy this season, but hopefully we can get there. Oh, the ghost thing. Okay. I see what you mean, but, like, he should just use it as fuel to prove everyone wrong, Said Reiss should be our captain weeks ago and got shut down. I think he needs to be here a bit longer, but he's certainly got, like, all the makings of it. Anyway, let's move on. Don't talk about the new contract curse. No, don't speak it into existence. Yes, Jez, the team lineup. What did you think about it? Yeah, I'm not happy to see Jorginho and Reiss starting. I think that's a shambles because I really think that a few of the subs should have been rewarded with a start. Otherwise, like, what's the point in then coming on and playing so well? I'd have liked to have seen ESR start. He deserved it. Tomiyasu deserves the start. I'll give him that. Trossard deserves a start, though. We need to reward players for coming and playing well, or else they're just going to feel so defeated and, like, what's the point? That's my thoughts anyway. So, next player. Jesus. Right. Let's talk about this moment. Jesus, this was so dangerous from their goalkeeper, Sanchez. It wasn't even given as a foul. I think it was a goal kick after this. But Sanchez basically comes out and clatters Jesus. And the part for me that, made me think, like, why the hell isn't this been given as a foul is basically... so first of all, Jesus basically was done dirty in this game. He didn't have his best game. He was sloppy like everyone else. Everyone had, like, a sloppy game. We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't control it. It was raining and we couldn't pass, and everyone just played really badly. I think we need to practice playing in the rain more, but that's for another show. So first of all, horrible late challenge by Palmer. Studs right into the ankle. Passing it nowhere, though. Despite that bad challenge, he was doing some really bad passes as well. But that Palmer one should have definitely been a yellow, if not a red. But anyway, this Sanchez moment where Sanchez obliterates him, basically Thiago Silva, opposition player but Brazilian teammate, immediately was really concerned about Jesus and making sure he was okay. So Jesus was basically on the floor looking dazed, like he wasn't really with it, and Silva was really concerned about him and calling the medics over because he could see, like, just how much he'd been clattered by Sanchez. And that was actually really nice to see, like, opposition players just genuinely, like, making sure that the other guy's okay, because he saw, like, that impact. And basically it was horrible play. Just again, we see that goalkeepers seem to be able to get away with anything, whereas outfielders get, like, stupid reds all the time. That was so bad from Sanchez, and it was not even a foul. I think it was then a goal kick. It was terrible. And I'm just glad that Jesus wasn't injured more. Mr. B says, sounds like a tired excuse, but it was raining. That's what I'm saying. It seemed like suddenly the pitch was a bit soggy and there was torrential rain for a bit. And we were just like, oh my God, I can't play. I can't pass the ball. You have to adapt. If the conditions are grim, like, just get stuck in. Like, be a bit more like a rugby player. Okay, it's going to be muddy. The ball's not going to move great. We just need to get stuck in, play dirty. Whereas instead it was kind of like, oh, the ball's not moving. What are we going to do? So yeah, I would make them train in torrential rain, and if they're not giving it 100%, make them do press-ups. That's what I'm on, okay? You play any weather, come wind, rain, sun, and just adapt to the weather. It can't even be part of the discussion. So, right, let me know what you think. You reckon Jesus got a 4? Reiss is coming for that captain spot, though. Jesus, the inverted left side, right-sided midfielder. Hardly saw him in the box 3. Yeah, at some points he was playing like defensive midfielder. He couldn't pass the ball. It was not a good game for him, but like he got really nearly severely injured twice. So I'm going to give him a 4. It was not good. It was not good from him. He's only scored once this season, I think. But anyway, we're nearly there with the player ratings. Then we're going to do a quick review before the game at 8. I'm so excited. Okay, Bukayo, what did we think? What I've written is that Cucurella was a nuisance. He kept getting wiped out straight away as soon as he got the ball. And I've got to give Cucurella some credit but I think he was fouling him so much, and players never seem to get yellows against Saka, or even like Saka never seems to earn a free kick when players are like trying to kill him every game. I'm so sick of it. But heads up, like credit, so much credit goes to Saka for this happening every single game, and then somehow he still manages to pull it out the bag when we need it. So I do see why he's left on, because he did this amazing assist to Trossard, even though he'd been getting clattered the whole game. Amazing assist, but it was really not a good game for him. I still don't think he looks fully fit. But he did really well to keep his head and do a good assist for Trossard at the end. Saka's 6th thing was constantly annoyed by the angry Womble. That's killing me. Yeah, Cucurella he's a little pest. Hey Jack, what's up? Yes, you're joining us just as we're finishing up player ratings. I imagine a lot of you guys are going to go and watch the match, but if you're still here, thank you. We're nearly there, and we're going to talk about Sevilla really quickly, but let's just finish up the chat catch-up time. I think I've done enough chat catch-up, probably not enough talkings. So the substitutes were really good. I'm just going to whiz through them. Tommy played really well. He's earned his start. I'm going to give him a 7. Smith Rowe didn't impact the game too much, but always brings energy and a morale boost to the team. So I'm going to give him a 5. It's a bit harsh, but he didn't really do much. But he's not ever really given much time to do much. But he does always lift the energy, so it's a 5 for me. Havertz, I think it could have actually been quite a good game for him. If you want a physical get stuck in game, apparently he's good at that. Not that you can see it on the eye. But I'm going to give him a 5 as well. Didn't really get involved much. I think he would play better up front, but we've spoken about Havertz. Leandro, I'm going to give him a 7. Yeah, really great goal from him. I think he earned a start this day. On this day, Trossard should have started. He's going to be so annoyed. Like, he even said he didn't come to Arsenal to sit on the bench. And he's genuinely a bench player that maybe gets 10, 20 minutes at the moment at the end of a match. And I think it's so unfair. It's so unfair. And, you know, he was basically a starter at Brighton. He's come to sit on the bench at Arsenal. He's going to be putting in a transfer request if he doesn't get more minutes, because I think he deserves them. So, hey, 101 on Arsenal, what's good? What's up? Yeah, I'm nervous. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. I will reply to you on WhatsApp. I've seen that you messaged me, but I've had a super hectic week. So I'll get back to you soon. But yeah, let us know what you think about tonight, 101. I value your opinion, and I'm so nervous. But yeah, Trossard did really well. I'm going to give him a 7. We love you, Leandro. Please, I want you to have more minutes. I do not hashtag free Leandro Trossard. Eddie got on. He didn't really do much. Did Eddie do much? My notes were didn't do much. He missed quite an easy chance, I think, but then he kind of does that quite often. I don't know if that was this game or last game. However, as a whole, the substitutes really raised the level of the game, which is why I would have liked to have seen 3 or 4 of them start today. I think they deserve that, and I'm so annoyed that the lineup is basically unchanged from the guys that stunk out the place at Stamford Bridge. So, yeah, Eddie 5 off to Brentford soon. Yes, Mr. B, would you like him? Kai involved in the goal, did okay up front. Arteta sees him as a super sub. I'm gutted for him. Yeah, I'm gutted for him too, but at least he's coming on and performing, you know, and hopefully soon he'll be able to get some starts. Nketiah 9, fantastic. Give it a break, Gooner gathering. I'm not hearing it. He scored 2 goals since February, I'm pretty sure. But I know that 101 on Arsenal Apollo had some like really mad stat that he's actually really efficient. So I don't know. Mr. B doesn't have a choice. Swap deal. Mr. B saying, Phil, leave the chat with that comment. Yeah. I wouldn't mind the swap deal. But I like the banter between you guys. Keep it up. I like it when the chat just talk to each other. I like it. But anyway, look, we're done with manager rating. Final bit about Chelsea, and then we'll do like half an hour talking about this massive match that's going to kick off in half an hour. So that'll be part 2. But let's finish off with the manager rating. I think the subs were made way too late. We were clearly stinking out the place for like the first 70 minutes or whatever. And the first subs, apart from the halftime one, I think it's really good. Sorry, I've just seen a comment from 101. I'll read that out in a sec. But I think the subs were made a little bit too late. I do applaud him, though, for recognising that Zinchenko was getting totally overran by Sterling. And obviously that he was on a yellow, so he couldn't get involved that much in the defensive play, which was what was needed in such a kind of messy game as this one. So I'm glad that he did take off Zinchenko at halftime, and hopefully that'll kind of fire him up. He's not even starting. I mean, hopefully he'll kind of switch on a little bit, I suppose. But I am glad he took off Zinchenko for Tomiyasu, because Tomiyasu was a huge improvement. As I say, he's much more defensively minded than Zinchenko, which is what was needed at that moment. The subs this season have been way better than they were last season. He's making them a little bit earlier, but I still think in a game as bad as this, I'd have liked to have seen them maybe like at the 60th minute. However, first subs were made at about 67th minute, which was Nketiah for Jesus and ESR for Jorginho. Immediately we saw an improvement. I think, yeah, then ESR, then 77, 78th minute, Havertz for Odegaard and Trossard for Martinelli. But it's only giving Trossard like 15 minutes or so to try and do something. I thought he could have been a bit bolder and brought Trossard and Havertz maybe on earlier. Odegaard always stays on way too long when he's having a stinker, in my opinion. So for me, he's going to get... it's always really hard to rate the manager, you know, like so much of it, like often... we blame the manager for a lot of stuff, but if your players are out there and like can't even control the ball, what's Arteta meant to do? Like he can't inhabit their bodies and suddenly give them like a level of ball control. So you know, the substitutions I think were good, but perhaps a little bit too late. So I'll give him a 6. Right. So I'm excited to see what you're saying, 101. I gave Arteta a 4 on my player ratings. Guys, do check out. I respect Apollo's opinion so much on football. Like, he knows so much about ball. And you gave him a 4. Poor team sheet. Took a long time to take off Jorginho. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I'm really annoyed to see Jorginho and Reiss starting. It was so bad. It looked like we were completely donutted in midfield. So anyway, you said about Eddie. Eddie nearly scored fighting off 2 defenders. That's more than what Jesus did in 70 minutes. The subs once again delivered. Tomiyasu, Trossard, Eddie looked great. Smith Rowe was a bit lost at the 10. Really good points. Yeah, I didn't think Smith Rowe was too effective, but he always does bring like energy and kind of a morale boost. But I mean, we need a bit more from that than that. Tomiyasu, Trossard, and Eddie did look really good, and I wanted to see Trossard especially start. I think they earned a start, so I'm quite annoyed about that. But yeah. 101 says, I want to see Havertz at 9. He did so well last games, coming on, holding up the ball, bringing players in the game. Feel like him with Saka, Martinelli, ESR, and Odegaard playing off him could be good. Yeah, I want to see it too. The left 8 thing's clearly not going very well. I think it's a bit... It's a really complicated role, to be fair. Like it took a while for Xhaka to like grasp it in the way that he did, and it's a complicated role. The amount, balancing the defensive responsibility with pushing up, getting involved, you kind of have to be able to do everything. Whereas I think you're right, Havertz is more suited for like being a bit further forward up the pitch, not having to get all the way back like Xhaka used to. Not so much box to box, maybe more number 9. You're right. It would be good to see. Thank you so much for jumping in the chat, though. It's really good to see you. Jack said, hello, my lovely Arsenal people. Big up, lovely Fran. I'm here again. Good to see you. Join us in this nervous build-up to Sevilla. Arsenal, the entry more said, Eddie is crap. He needs to move on to Brentford. Please, give me Tony. Give me Tony. Trossard is a strange one, says 101. Every time he earns a starting role, he's bang average. You're so right, though. You're so right. Seems to be a much better impact player. You're really... I keep forgetting that when he does start, he gets subbed off at about 70th minute because he's just non-existent. So, yeah, you do make a good point. Shout out to Jack Stone. Yes, I believe Jack is always in the 101 forum and chat. So yes, shout out to everyone here. Thank you so much for joining me. Please hit the likes. The aim is 45 likes. I don't know where we're at the moment, but hopefully we can get it. Right. Mr. B, Mr. B. Guys, please don't wind up Mr. B about us getting Tony and him getting Nketiah. Please do. I'm sorry, Mr. B. It is quite funny. I just really hope we get him. But we're seeing rumours already that Arsenal are not going to do any business in January, which to me is just outrageous. But anyway, enough about this horrible Chelsea performance. Please switch it up tonight, Arsenal. I just need to see you do the basics right. I need to see you controlling the ball. I need to see calmness. But most of all, I need to see fight and desire and intensity. That was the word, intensity. Arteta said we were lacking intensity, and I completely agree. So I want to see a calm, strong performance tonight against Sevilla. Cut out the mistakes, get the basics right, a little bit of a reset. Show us you can actually play football. That doesn't sound too harsh. So let's talk about it. Sevilla. So we're playing Sevilla tonight in the Champions League in about 25 minutes. I'm feeling really nervous about it. It's a must win. It is a must win. So we are playing Sevilla, obviously. They're on 2 points. We are on 3. And PSV are playing Lens. So basically, if Sevilla win, then they go above us. If we draw with them, we're tied on points, I believe. If PSV win against Lens, then they go above us. If Lens win, then they continue to be surprisingly at the top of the group. Basically, we must win. If Sevilla or PSV win, if Sevilla and PSV win, we could end up 4th, I think. So that'll be 5 points. So Sevilla would go on top. We could potentially end up 4th if PSV beat Lens and Sevilla beat us. That's very scary. Rancid Pumpkin, hello. You've come in at a scary time where we're thinking about what would happen if we were to lose tonight and PSV were to win. But hopefully that is worst case scenario. That's worst case scenario. Ideally, we win. Obviously, we win and Lens lose. Everyone root for that, please. Everyone put that into the universe that we win and Lens lose and we go top of the group. Okay? So we must win. I mean, even if we drew We're then still joint 2nd/3rd, still got work to do. We must not lose. We must not lose. Kyle Walker was saying earlier, Kyle Walker? Kyle Walsh saying he doesn't think we're going to get out of the group. We simply must. So let me just hide this comment from Rancid Pumpkin. Oh yes, so yeah, those are just the fixtures happening today. I wanted to show you a few of Sevilla's recent results, so we kind of know what we're up against. They've had a bit of a mixed bag this season. A couple of games ago, they actually got a new manager and are kind of on this new manager bounce revival. Sorry, I just saw in the comments that Rancid Pumpkin is happy Halloween is coming up. It's your season, Rancid Pumpkin. It's your season. Sorry, I get too distracted. Sorry, everyone. Forgive me. So they actually drew with Man City. Basically, do not underestimate Sevilla. Do not. It's the same thing as before Lens. I cannot stress enough how difficult it's going to be tonight, and I hope that's not the case. I hope we can really step up. But there are a few things that make me worried about tonight. So they drew against Man City in the Super... I don't even know what it's called. They drew against Man City, so when the winner of the Champions League plays the winner of the Europa League, obviously they won the Europa League. We have never won the Europa League. Why on earth would we be feeling complacent when they've won the Europa League 7 times? We have never won it. So they won the competition that we were unceremoniously knocked out of last season. They knocked out Manchester United from Europa League. They drew with Man City. However, their season in Spain has been pretty mixed. They lost to Girona, beat Las Palmas. They beat Almeria 5-1, so they've got goals in them, but Almeria must be quite bad. Barcelona only beat them 1-0. PSV, Sevilla, they drew 2-2. Drew 2-2 against Rayo Vallecano. Most recently, they drew 1-1 with Real Madrid. They, as I said, have got this kind of new manager bounce thing going on. And we just really must be on our game. We must be on our game. I'll check out your comment in Sec 101. Arsenal. So we cannot be complacent at all. And I think the problem was last time that we went into Lens not feeling like we needed to really play our best to beat them. Whereas every night in Champions League football, the best clubs in the world going against each other, you need to put in the performance of your life to be able to do well in this competition. You can't just stroll in and hope to just play average game and get through it, because the other team's going to... People see Arsenal coming to them and they say, right, this is an opportunity for me to be seen on the world stage, for us to prove that our club is not small. This is an opportunity for us to upset them and make a name for ourselves in Europe, cause an upset. Like, they're coming for it and they want to play the performance of their lives. And we must do the same. We must. So they've won the most Europa Leagues out of any club in Europe, with 7 times having won it, most recently last year. As I said, they knocked out Manchester United, beating them 3-0. I think that was at home, and we're going to them today. They beat Manchester United 3-0. Manchester United are pretty bad, but still it shows that they can do it. And their home ground, they're really good there. So they have one of the largest stadiums in Spain. They're also one of the oldest clubs in Spain. They're a bit like Lens, again, like with this really passionate fan base and really long, deep history. So their club was founded in like 1880 or something like that. They're a really old club, oldest club in Spain, I think. Biggest stadium in Spain. And I'm really worried about it. So I used to live in Spain and I know like how mental the football fans are. I wish I could be out there. I really envy all Gooners out there. But I think if anyone speaks better Spanish than me, then let me know. But I believe that big banner they have says, nobody wants it more than we want it, which should hopefully give us an idea of the way that they're going to play against us tonight. And it's reflected in what the manager said. So he said, basically, guys, this is, if you're not worried about this, listen to what their manager said. He said, Having not won in the 2 opening games of the competition, we need a win. Tomorrow we have that opportunity and we are ready for it. We'll have to work our socks off for the whole 90 minutes. We're facing a great team, but we're ready. Motivating others should be organic. We are fully focused on tomorrow's game only. We will do our best to claim the 3 points. We are going to play as if it were a final. That kind of says all that you need to see. No, that just fills me with fear because it just confirms that they're 100% up for it. They're treating it as a final. Arsenal are coming to town. They're at their home stadium. They've got a new manager. They said, we're going to play as if it were a final. We're ready for it. We'll have to work our socks off. So that's what I'm saying. Arsenal also need to work our socks off. We cannot go in there with a shred of complacency because this team will be just like Blondes, right down our necks. We need to be up for the battle today, do everything that we didn't do against Chelsea a couple of days ago. It's a quick turnaround, but you know what? Use that to our advantage. Out of sight, out of mind. Chelsea's done. Let's treat this as the most important game because, you know, if we lose, things get very bad. And it would just be lovely to be able to relax a little bit, get a little bit of pressure off the team. The media speculation that'll be drummed up if we lose will just be so stressful on the players. We know they don't like that. So I'm really worried about that. I'm not happy to see that fighting talk from Sevilla. So this is what was on the Arsenal website that was also quite interesting. So I can't remember the author, sorry. I think it was a Jonathan. So he's saying about Arsenal. So to do so, we'll have to win our first Champions League away game since December 2016. That can't be right. No, I don't think that's right. Is it? Might be. Oh. When we beat Basel 4-1. Well, we've lost 5 of our last 6 away games to Spanish sides. That's not good. However, a trip to the Estadio Sánchez Pizjuán, I think, could be what we need, with Sevilla only victorious in 2 of their last 9 home games in this competition. So neither team is looking great with the stats going into it. So we've lost 5 of our last 6 away games to Spanish sides. They've lost 2 of their last 9 home games. So, you know, that it's looking that both teams have not got too much going for them in the stats. So it's whoever can step up tonight, really. So while they've been supremely successful in Europe since the turn of the century, Los Palanganas, apparently that means the basins. And if you, that's their nickname. It's because of a ceremonial basin they received once. It's mad. Anyway, so they found fixtures against English sides tough, winning just 2 of their last 9. They'll be hoping that the recent appointment of Diego Alonso as manager can help them improve that record, as well as improve their poor start to the La Liga campaign. So they do definitely have a point to prove. I was listening to the AFTV box-to-box show, and Turkish basically asked this Sevilla fan, would you rather just go straight back down to the Europa League, or do you want to get out of this group? And he said, basically, financially for the club, getting out of the Champions League is so much better for them, and that's ideally what they want. They love the Europa League, you know, that's their competition, but financially for the club, there's a huge incentive for them to go deeper in the Champions League. So get it out of your mind that they're only interested in going back down to the Europa League. That's not the case. And also what I was talking about, their team having experience, which is, I mean, we've got a few more players that have got Champions League experience now, notably Jorginho. Maybe that's why he's been brought in to play today. But anyway, whichever team Alonso selects, reads the article, it will boast plenty of experience. Sevilla's starting lineups in their opening 2 group games had an average age of 30 years and 343 days, the oldest of any team in the tournament, and the only side with an average age over 30, with 37-year-old Ramos's summer arrival helping to increase that number. Yes, I think it's Sergio Ramos. I might have got his first name wrong, but a legendary player for them. He left, but he's come back, which is adding to the whole good feeling around the club at the moment. So 101 saying Turkish is so negative. Never seen him happy. No, he was giving the manager like mad praise towards the end of last season. I think he can be quite negative though, to be fair. And 101 will also be live for a watch along, guys. So go straight over to there or to Gooner Gathering if they're doing one, or to anyone who's doing a watch along. Promote it in my chat. I don't think it's rude if you big up your show in my chat. I'll just tell people when you're live, where you're going live. It's fine. It's fine. So everyone go over to 101 on Arsenal if you actually want really good analysis live. He'll be doing a watch along. So trust me, go there. So let's see what you guys said. AFC always, you say that the atmosphere will be very hostile. It is. It is. We ain't ripping up any trees right now, said Phil. We're not ripping up weeds either. No, we're not ripping up anything at the moment. But tonight we better rip up Sevilla. We can do what you lot couldn't, beat Chelsea on Saturday. We'll see, Mr. B. We'll see. Chelsea looking all right. Ransom Pumpkin saying, to be honest, I gave on Champions League. Do you mean gave up? Yeah, gave up on Champions League. No, we've got to get as far as we can. I want semi-finals. Maybe quarters, but semis, at least. We've got to keep our standards high, everyone. Okay, Gooner Gathering is off tonight, but Gooner Gathering did do a really great stream yesterday. I couldn't make it, unfortunately, but please, massive friend of the channel, huge supporters of mine, lovely guys, really knowledgeable as well, and very entertaining. Gooner Gathering, do subscribe to them if you can. They're great. But anyway, that was a little bit about Sevilla. The manager's got fighting talk. It's all looking very scary. This would have been my starting 11 before we knew the lineups. I wanted to see a few of the subs that played really well at Chelsea getting a game, but unfortunately that's not really the case. However, it is good that Jorginho's got a bit of Champions League experience. I wouldn't mind seeing Havertz come on, as he's also done quite well in the tournament. Jesus scored a hat-trick, I believe, against them when we played them in a friendly last season, so I'm good to see it. Good to see Jesus. He does well against Sevilla. This was my predicted one. Obviously Partey's not fit. Havertz didn't start. But the back line was pretty similar to what we've seen. For me, it's just an opportunity for these players that played pretty poorly on Chelsea against Chelsea to step it up. I don't want to see the same performance that we saw a couple of days ago. This is their opportunity to rewrite the narrative and actually play well today. So yeah, we've got about 10 minutes to go till the match. I want to thank you guys for still being here. If you have been, I've really enjoyed this stream. Obviously, I haven't been live for about a week, so I had a lot to get off my chest, and I might have been a bit harsh at some points, but hopefully you guys understand. It's been a stressful week. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your score predictions if you haven't already peeled off to go and watch the match. I want to go and watch it now because I want to see like the atmosphere and stuff. I predict it will be mad. So I can't wait to go and have a look. So go to 101 on Arsenal to watch the watch along, and I'm going to be optimistic and hope that performance against Chelsea will be a kick up the backside for our starting 11. And so hopefully we can get a solid 2-0 win. But I'll see you after the game. Probably not tonight. Hopefully tomorrow night. I'll do a review. We'll do player ratings. And I will see you there, whether it goes well, whether it goes poorly. You know that I'll be rewatching it and analysing the performances. So I'll see you probably tomorrow or the day after for a review. And we better win tonight. We had better win. I will not be a happy Fran. 2-1 Sevilla. 2-2 says Phil. Rancid Pumpkin say, come on, you Gunners. Lovely to see you in the chat. I'm pretty sure I see you quite a lot in the Highbury squad chat and stuff. So you're like a connoisseur. It's awesome to see you on my channel. Thank you. So final thoughts. Must win. Must win. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Gil. Thank you everyone for really supporting my new channel. You know, I've only recently started YouTubing properly, and you guys make it very, very fun. I love chatting to you about football. Thank you. I mean, if I just chat to all my friends, they get really bored. So luckily I found other people that just can't get enough of Arsenal. So thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. If you're watching on replay, you really have some stamina because this has been like an hour-and-a-half stream. But thank you so much, everyone. If you have enjoyed, please remember that Golartzo is my channel name, but also the name of my website where I sell my art, like you can see behind me, and hoodies and t-shirts like the one you can see on that on the door there. So yeah, just really trying to build the brand and the website. Ransom Pumpkin saying, I'm everywhere. It sounds like a threat. I will be everywhere. Oh, Gooner Gathering did a short for my merch yesterday. Thank you so much, Gooner Gathering. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lee. I'm sorry I've been a bit non-communicative. But yeah, it's for those personal reasons this week. So hopefully, yeah, we'll link it. We'll link up again soon. But thank you so much again, everyone. I'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, and enjoy the match tonight. Arsenal must win. Come on, you Gunners. I'm so bad at saying the goodbyes. Okay, bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.